Good morning, the chairman, Dr. Chukabu, SAN. Let me greet first my teacher, my mentor, and indeed, the brain behind Whitesands. I feel jealous today that you hardly come for our graduation anymore at the university, but here you are, sitting and smiling. Professor Albert Balogun Alos. I named him Balogun because he has fought and conquered many battles, and Whitesands happens to be one of them. In case you don't know, he has established similar institutions in the East, apart from Lagos Business School and Pan-Atlantic University. So, Prof, I greet you. My colleague, Dr. Darlington Aholo, the principal of Whitesands School, Dr. Emeka Enemo, when he asked me to do this, I'm sure he was not sure that I will come. But for me, there are many reasons why it is important to drop every other thing and be here. In fact, I told him that there's a program in Abeokuta that I'm supposed to be at 10 o'clock this morning. But I had to beg the bishop that I will be here for many reasons. To the management and staff of Whitesands School, especially the faculty. Although they say teachers' rewards are in heaven, at least for those that will make it to heaven. But I can tell you that these are your rewards. There are many teachers that live to see their students thrive. And for me, it is because you have been part of that journey for them. So I want to especially thank you. To class of 2025, I will say a few things later, but let me congratulate you. You have been here, you have seen, and like the valedictorian said, you have conquered. But you have only conquered the first stage. You know, when you play those online games, you move to the next level. And so now we're moving to the next level. To the very proud parents, I want to especially commend you. It's not easy. Not with the way things are going these days in terms of pricing of everything. You have endured, and I want to really thank you for supporting Whitesands and indeed for sending your boys here. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I haven't been here maybe in the last 16 years or so, although I passed through here. My son was admitted into Whitesands some 20 years ago. And indeed, that laid the foundation for a purposeful life for him. Today, after completing his master's in petroleum geoscience, he is now transitioned into being a sustainability expert. He used to be a geologist. He's based in London, but he works across the world. This is the kind of foundation that Whitesands has given you. The world is your oyster. Today, we celebrate a landmark in your journey, especially to the world of work. Like a caterpillar that has just transformed into a lovely butterfly, it is important to say a few words before you fly away. I have been asked to speak on the spirit of enterprise and innovation in surviving and thriving in today's workplace. This, of course, like you have heard, is a core area for me in the last several decades. Entrepreneurship is my calling, and I pioneered the Enterprise Development Center at the university 23 years ago. I have the pleasure of working with our students from undergraduates to master's level. And one thing I can say without a doubt is how students with entrepreneurial mindsets thrives wherever they find themselves. They develop skills that are very critical to thriving anywhere they are, especially in the workplace. And such skills include critical thinking, problem solving, communication, collaboration, resilience, perseverance, adaptability, and flexibility, to mention but a few. Innovation, on the other hand, turns you into an explorer, constantly looking for ways of making things better, more efficient, and better value proposition. In a nutshell, developing the spirit of enterprise and innovation makes you to interact with your world beyond what you have learned in class, with the sole aim of creating value and making a huge difference. When I finished my secondary school several decades ago, I did not have the opportunity like you to have a ceremony like this. And I guess I'm speaking for the chairman and a few of us in this hall. But let me share with you a story to bring to focus the importance of the spirit of enterprise and innovation, and how it transforms or can transform what I call an average student into an exceptional person in the world, at the workplace. Now, the story I'm going to share with you is a real-life story, but I will refrain from using the person's real name since I don't have the authorization to do so. You know, in the educational section, you have to get consent, you have to sign many things before you use. So for this purpose, I'm going to just say the name of this person is Bola. Bola graduated about 16 years ago as an average student. Had been part of the junior achievement company formation while she was in senior secondary school. So roughly between age 14 and 16. And this company formation program helped her to understand, to think, and to start a company as a senior student. Now, of course, that company did not go too far, but of course, she learned a lot of things. Those skills that I have alluded to prior. After that, for her, it was just fun. You know, like the things you do while you are in school. Nothing dramatic. But that was where the seed of entrepreneurship was sown. Of course, she proceeded to her A-levels, graduated with BSc Computing and MA in Advertising and Marketing. But her true passion was in the creative sector. Now, whatever you have learned, whatever crossroads you have taken, every single journey is a layer onto where you are ultimately going to find yourself. And so I see people that study economics, mathematics, and I find them in arts. Every single one, there is a purpose, there is a reason. But once you have that entrepreneurial spirit, you will be able to combine all to be who you are. I started my career as a mechanical engineer, but today, after several iterations, look at where I am today. Today, this same Bola has transitioned over many things, and I'm trying to cut the story short. She's now a mid-level manager in an oil and gas company. But she also runs a creative company. This is where her heart lies. Using her computer experience, she digitized all the processes from supplies to creation to inventory to payment systems and all of that. And all of these are like 98% of it are being done online. Yet, it has no bearing with the kind of business she created between the age of 14 and 16. But that entrepreneurial seed that was germinated several years after. Even at work, as a mid-level manager, that entrepreneurial makes her to question procedures, questions things that are not efficient, makes her to look and say there will be or there should be a better way of doing these things. That's what the spirit of enterprise gives you. Innovation, when it's layered on top of it, then says, I should be able to do something better or to provide a better solution. So the combination of the two makes you a differentiating factor in the workplace. That is why I am charging you today that it makes a huge difference when you journey through life. No matter what you choose to become, no matter the direction, the wind will blow you. Know that skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, communications, collaboration, resilience, perseverance, adaptability, and flexibility will be your cross-cutting skills that will differentiate you when you get out there. I know that you have been prepared in many ways to really go to the world and conquer. Not just academically, but in terms of character. As I sat down here and I watched, and I saw boys are managing this event, irrespective of whether they are in JS or in their SS. It gives me hope that Nigeria can truly be better. And I'm sure, Professor Alos, you must feel like a very proud great-grandfather, because today you are seeing the fruits of that seed which you sowed. By the way, Professor Alos he has what I call that enterprise spirit. In fact, sometimes we often wonder where he got his strength from. The EDC, which I pioneered, he was one of the people that, I won't say deceived me, but collaborated with me to be able to make sure that we brought it to bear. And today, I have also left it for other people with enterprise spirit to run along. And yesterday, as the current director tweeted, put a word on LinkedIn, I sent a note to her. And I said, this is my colleague in whom I am well pleased. That is what the enterprise spirit does to you. That is what innovation does to you. Even when there is no door, you will create one by yourself because you have the tools to be able to make it happen. As I conclude, let me remind you that you have been given wings to fly, the tools to navigate your flight path, and the inspiration to fly. So, soar like an eagle that you are. Congratulations, class of 2025.
Thank you very much, sir.